Welcome to another presentation by Bloody Amazing, this time on keyboard tricks and tips. Remember, you can pause the presentation at any stage to examine any slide in detail. All the slides are self-explanatory. The outline of this procedure is to basically show you how to make your equipment more simple and hopefully to sound better. I'm always aiming to travel as lightly as possible. So let's start with the keyboard stands. Basically, we start with double braced, as you'll see them in the slides as I use them. Wide range of height adjustments for seated or standing, quite sturdy, portable but lengthy to pack. The single brace are a little bit wobbly, but you can use them stacked in behind the double brace to form a second tier. The table type are much more portable, and the stack type are very, very large and difficult to carry around. Microphones, I believe it's the singer's responsibility to supply their own microphones. Most work reasonably well, but I prefer the Shure 58, as you can see here, particularly when you plug these into a recording studio. I think it's everybody's responsibility to have their own microphone, but if not, take out a cheaper second microphone for others to use so they don't ruin your good microphone. Microphone stands, generally if I'm playing with one keyboard, a simple standard upright stand is quite adequate for the purpose, a little bit interfering with your hands but nothing you don't get used to. The boom type can interfere with your vision somewhat. They are a little bit heavier to carry, of course, but I prefer round bases whenever possible because they don't seem to tangle and you don't trip over them, etc. You can see here I have a Shure 58 microphone. That is a nice copy, but I don't think they're quite up to the standard of the 58, even though I was assured that they were. I don't like head microphones because quite often you might want to sneeze or cough or tell somebody to take off, and you really can't get away from them. Okay, so here we are. This is an old microphone stand. You can see once again with a round base. It's a little bit unstable, but as you can see there, I support two microphone heads with it when I'm working at home. It's a boom microphone, and so it does impair your vision a little bit in certain aspects. But quite often I will even have in front of that stack a straight microphone stand for my PSR 950. Now here we are with stools. The first is a drummer's stool. They can wear through the wood on the bottom of the seat and come up your derriere. The second type is a bench piano type. The third is the fold-up type bench seat. And number 4 is a Cajun. Now you'll see this Cajun here. They're great fun to play with. I must admit when I'm out playing I'm generally pretty flat out with my hands, but you can see I've added a seat to this Cajun, and it does allow you to put in some drumming effects should you get time. They make quite a loud sound, but you can microphone them if necessary by placing a microphone inside them or actually a microphone just outside them, and they are great fun. If the height is not what you want, you can go down to the hardware shop and get rubber feet. Some of those doorstop things are probably perfectly adequate just to raise the height if you need to do that, but mine was okay as it was. I did have to tune it a little bit when I first got it, but you can see I had the upholsterer put a little seat on for me, and it still fits in the carry bag, and although it's a little bit inconvenient to carry around, as I say, lots of fun as well. Now we're going to talk about stabilising accessories. You'll see that my foot pedals are stabilised by the use of a U or L extension arm that I've made by just bending a bit of metal and pot riveting to the base of these pedals. Just be careful that you don't drill and pot rivet into the wiring. The first of the small squarish type, as you can see on the left-hand side there. On the right-hand side we have the actual piano type pedals, which are very, very nice, but of course they're a lot larger and more inconvenient to carry. Most foot pedals have been with me most years, and this one I've even changed the switching inside it to make it work by use of a foam and a metal plate. But it still works, and as you can see there, I have that U extension that has been pot riveted on the bottom, and then the bottom actually covered with rubber and tape so it doesn't scratch venue floors. That's a good way not to be invited back to a venue, is to scratch their floors. And there you can see, yes, the rubber and the tape over the base of it. But these little foot pedals do the job quite adequately. As I say, the pedal ones are nice, and if you're using a piano at home or something, yes, they're very nice. You can see with this, I only had to put one L-shaped sort of bracket on it to stabilize it with the foot pedal. Now, the Tyros allow you to use 3 foot pedals, so I have my left ones actually joined together on the same U extension there, which is very good, so you can put your foot down and you know exactly where they're located at any one stage. Now, another way of stabilizing things is with the use of Velcro, and you can buy this from the haberdashery shops, and this is very good for stabilizing things on your keyboard. And if you ever need to take it off, of course, you can always get it off with a little bit of butter or WD-40 or even eucalyptus oil if necessary. Anyway, the headphone splitter is a great example. This is a great little thing because if you want to record people, you can have everybody listen through headphones, or I can actually use it for a splitter sometimes when I go out with my boombox. And you can see here that I'm actually Velcroing it to the Tyros 4. And you just see I've got the 2 bits of Velcro actually stuck together, and I'm pushing it down onto the keyboard. You'll see also that the speakers for the Tyros 4 have been Velcroed down sideways there, because when you stack keyboards, you can end up with a great height if you have those speakers upright. I could well, of course, fed the outputs into the Tyros one above, but this also gives me somewhere to store them so that they're not away in the cupboard somewhere, so it solves a lot of problems. Now, here you can see I've actually Velcroed the PSR 950 power transformer to the top and back of the keyboard. I don't like these power supplies floating around the floor, and there is nothing worse than losing or misplacing them. Sometimes I quite often permanently attach these power supplies to the appliance, but this is a quick and easy way of doing it without really damaging the keyboard in any way. So Velcro is a very, very handy thing. Now, here we have a little bit of angle aluminium that I've bought from the hardware shop as it came. I've cut off a foot or so of that, and you'll see that I've attached that to the leg of the keyboard. For the times when I actually carry a Tyros out with me, I can put the Tyros base box up off the floor so it doesn't get damaged, the floor doesn't get damaged, and the wiring doesn't get damaged. You're better off having it with you, and it sits nicely on the base of the thing. You'll see also I have some extension leads here, short extension leads, which are good for Tyros speakers, etc. You'll notice that speaker outputs can just use dual core wire there. You don't have to actually have coaxial wire. That's for speaker things. Now, amplification. I hate keyboards that don't have internal sound, and that is why I carry around with me most times a PSR S950, because it has a very nice sound. The sound is under my ears and absolutely great. For slightly larger venues, I will use a Sony boombox, as you can see here, which does the job quite adequately. I prefer to get them up on something stable like a fridge or a cupboard or something, but sometimes it's necessary to put them up on a speaker stand, and I have adapted it so that it will fit onto a speaker stand. And the advantage of having on a speaker stand too, as you can see, I've got laser lights and rotating lights, etc. attached to that boom stand, so it's all in one. I'm just worried sometimes people will pull them over on themselves. For larger venues, I prefer the power and clarity of 2 Fender amps. You can see there the FM212s are excellent value for money, and I do put the input in on there on the left hand side instead of the amp input, mixer input. I get a better sound. Now, lighting. We have here the lectern type lighting that you can see stuck on the music stand of the Tyros. This requires mains power, of course, a little bit more to carry, a better light though, and that's quite adequate. Now, the other form of lighting that you can carry with you very easy are these little LED lights that you can buy from the music shops for about $30 or so. The trouble with them is they take those jetted AAA batteries instead of AA that are hard to get hold of and more expensive. But anyway, they do the job and the batteries last for a long time. I would carry spare batteries. Now you'll see I have here a surge arrestor please always have some form of surge arrestor. That's not an expensive one. It's a small one. I can carry it in my bag because it only takes one flash of lightning. Oops, there we go. And wow, lucky we had that surge arrestor in place. A friend of mine blew up 2K and 7,000s in one nearby lightning strike that he needs to bring over for me to see if I can get it going again. But he may have wrecked 2 keyboards. Okay, the main thing is enjoy your keyboard playing. As you can see we are doing there in Underwood Studio 2. And here are some other bloody amazing YouTube presentations that you may like to have a look at if you like my presentations. Don't forget you can review this video and at any stage stop and pause to read the print should you want to. This has been a bloody amazing production, and of course we have now approached the end. If you would like more presentations on keyboard topics, please leave a message or email me on the upcoming address, or at least give me a thumbs up. Thank you for your attention.